Press the button. What's wrong with you?
Whoa, you need to relax, man.
Jesus,
you
bruv.
need to relax.
Press the damn button, blood.
Roy, talk to your boy.
Alright, we're here.
Talk to your boy.
Listen.
He's getting on to me already.
Listen, this guy likes to make ceremony about pressing the button, bruv. Just press the button, fam.
Do you remember? Did you ever used to watch what are they called? The Pussycat Dolls.
The Pussycat
Dolls.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch it, but yeah.
The music. They used to have the song. Push the button to let me know.
Was it Pussycat Dolls?
Sugar Babes.
You don't even know what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. You're just waffling, bro.
Maybe I shouldn't know that, but yeah.
That's a banger, the Sugar Babes.
I can't lie.
Touch the button to let me know. That's a banger, man.
Have a top up before we.
Yeah, of course, man. No, it's never too late.
Mate, I gotta ask a question.
Of course, you better ask a question.
What time we starting, bruv?
Starting this at 12:30 a.m. on Thursday night, so it's Friday morning.
Alright. Why are you always late, bro?
What's the coke, please? Listen, things can't be helped, all right?
What do you mean things can't be helped?
You know, we had to travel into London for our special guest here, Roy.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
You know what I mean? Roy.
Yeah.
Before we introduce yourself,
Yeah.
tell us about yourself.
Tell me. Right. So, generally, I mean, what work-wise or just me in general?
Just you, man.
You in
Just
general.
me. Oh,
Who are
me.
you, bro?
Who am I? I'm just a cool brother, bro. Like, more time, I'm just on my vibes, innit? Like, work-wise, I'm into property, so, like, I try to keep it, like, my whole life kind of, especially professionally, around that.
Okay.
So I try to be as professional as I can in my personal, business life. But
Yeah.
personally, Mike, you know me for a while now.
Oh, I love it.
I love to turn up. I love to go out.
Love
you
it.
know what I mean? So there's obviously another side to me, innit? So,
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, maybe the podcast might reveal a little bit of that.
Okay.
But generally speaking, I'm out here to vibes, man. Vibes and just make some money, look after the family. You know how it is.
I love vibes. Vibes is my favourite excuse to do anything in my life.
Like, you don't
in my
need
life.
an excuse, bro.
Oh, it's true.
You're just at it,
Out here.
doing not the Lord's work, someone else's work, bro.
Satan's.
Wow.
You gonna let your mum hear you say that?
I didn't say it.
What?
Wow.
You did say it.
Maybe Buddhist. I'm
not
a
even
Buddhist.
drinking to that.
I'm a Buddhist.
See what this man's on?
I'm so sorry, my friend.
That's all right. That's
It's
right.
all good, man.
We got some icebreaker questions for you. to start off
Icebreaker
with.
questions. Okay.
Wait. Why is your phone ringing, bro?
Can I just see who it is?
Yeah, answer.
Hello? Hello? Yeah.
Ooh.
Excellent. 2 seconds. Okay.
It's Uber man, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's coming in the Uber?
Why is an Uber Ubering?
Yeah.
Why is it Ubering?
Yeah.
Look at this time, bro. Look at wait.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
You find sometimes where, friends, they leak, they go out, their phone, their batteries are dying and stuff like that. So then I have to, I not have to, but I'll be the guy to help call an Uber, get them to their destination. Nice to say.
Superman.
Man, like Good Samaritan.
Great Samaritan. Great Samaritan.
So if Superman was black, it'd be you.
Who? Sorry.
If Superman was black, that'd be you.
Basically, yeah. I'll be like super. I don't know if I'll be a Superman if I'm honest. That's annoying. So I don't know if I'll be a Superman. I think I'll go for someone like. Do you know what? Thor.
Thor.
Yeah, I prefer.
Why
Thor.
Thor though?
No homo, not like that. But
Oh
I mean,
no! Say it. Say it.
Say it.
Say
No,
it.
do you know
Yes,
why I
homo.
thought? Because I thought like see these magical powers like running around and jumping and telekinesis and whatever it's called. It's cool, but I think the strength, like it's a man, isn't it?
Wait, is it more relatable to you because man's dropping hammers and that? Is that what you're trying to say? is that what
Man's
you're trying to say?
dropping hammers on the table.
Hey, man's plugging himself out here, Man said he comes with that hammer.
Man
blood.
said
What?
no,
I'm
nigga.
just saying, innit? Like it's do you know what I mean? It's like biblical strength. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like it's
Samson.
innate. Yeah, it's innate strength, innit? So I think if I was gonna be, yeah.
With the hair and everything, you have the blonde hair and everything.
Don't know about the hair. I mean, obviously, just about got any hair now, so like.
Still got the hairline. You're right.
I'm trying. So.
So there was a couple of questions to get you involved. What's your favorite color?
My favourite colour? Do you know what? Black's my favourite colour. Well, I heard black's a shade, but basically darker tones are my favourite colours. I don't know.
What are you saying? They're not counting black as a colour?
I mean,
That's racist. Who said that?
Mighty racist, bro.
I bet it was a white person.
I don't know who said that, but I've been told that a couple of times when I say black is my favourite colour, and they're like, "That's a tone you have to choose, whatever it is." So for me, it's black. I like black. I like darker tones, innit? It's simple.
The racismo, bro.
Racismo.
Racismo.
That's a Boris Johnson answer.
Trust me.
Right. Second question. Do you eat ass?
Whoa.
Transition.
Let's just answer that. Let's just nip that straight in the bud. No.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, for those who do, I had a very, very interesting conversation actually.
Okay.
More of a revelation. It was like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago actually, we went to after football. All the boys we had a barbecue at my boy's house, and it was like we were just talking about certain things, and the conversation about eating arse came up, right? And this was like maybe it was a few years back, because it was probably like 5 years ago now. When this conversation came up, right, there was other topics that were discussed within that. Like how freaky, like I thought I was freaky, innit? Like I'm not saying that. Okay, whatever. But after listening to what man them do or what man them are on, I just started realizing, okay, fair enough, yeah. Maybe I'm a pussycat, innit? But eating ass is one of those things that for me it's not for me, man.
Okay.
So yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Were some of those man them Caucasian?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
Question number 2.
Yeah.
What was the wildest thing that a man them in that group said that they do on a regular occasion?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I don't know what am I allowed to say in this podcast?
Yeah, you can say anything you want, man. Anything goes.
Do you know? Okay, look. I don't know where this podcast is gonna end up, but I heard, guys like a finger in their bum when they're getting head, innit? Now, each to their own, innit? Yeah. You hear me? Apparently, apparently, the man's G spot is there, right?
Yeah.
So
that's what I keep hearing.
You're hearing it. So I'm hearing whilst you're getting here, the woman could. And for me, it's a no. Again, it's a no, because I just feel like it's boundaries, isn't it? And I feel like once you overstep one boundary,
you're gonna go further.
It's free for all. Like you're gonna,
what's a finger? It's a dildo.
It's a dildo. It's a cucumber. It's you know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I don't know, innit? For me. Don't know. So that was the wildest thing that was said that day. So for me, that's when I realised that maybe I'm not as maybe I'm not as open as
you're not as out there as the rest
of everyone else. But yeah. I'll
Okay.
do my thing.
Okay, lovely. Before we go on to your job and that, what is the wildest thing you'd say you've done to a female or male?
Man said all male.
Female or male.
Hey, Mike, you're moving brazy right now.
Look, I doubt.
Mike has brought me on this show to expose me.
I'll never do that.
He's trying to expose me.
I'll never do that. I'll never do that.
You said this was going to be about business.
This ain't about business. We'll get to business.
It's a different type of business.
Okay.
Business.
Okay.
Man handles business and then he handles business.
All right. So
I'm a business man.
I do business, man.
Wait, can we ask the question again? Please?
Of course. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Rephrase this. So, Roy, what is the wildest thing you've done with a female or male?
Nothing with a male. The wildest thing I've done with a male is probably go on a roller coaster.
Okay, that's pretty wild, man.
Man nipped that in the bud real quick.
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
I love that. Man said, "Hey, don't you don't."
Mike, they're not all like you,
coaster.
bro. You saw Mike on his story, right?
I've seen Mike.
You saw him riding a massive cock, bro. You saw that, didn't you?
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Like, we need to put up that video. We need to put it somewhere up here. Mike, show him the video.
I don't know if I have the facilities for that.
Mike out here. Big Mike.
Whoa. I mean,
riding a big John. You know what I'm saying?
whoa.
I was not riding a cock per se, it was a fake cock. It was a fake cock.
Hey, is that the Lord's work you're doing, yeah?
It's the Lord's work he's doing. I wish I could find it. It was a fake cock. I can't find it right now, but it was a fake
We'll
cock.
find
so
the video for you,
You
bro.
don't have to worry about it. It's a fake cock. But yeah, what is the wildest thing you've done with a female?
Honestly speaking, I would say, nah. You know what? I don't kiss and tell, man. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, that's just not. It's not my style.
Fair enough, fair
I'm
enough.
sorry. Like, not just. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't kiss and tell.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Mature.
Yeah. Just know I haven't gone down that. You know, fingering the anal and stuff like
That's
that.
cool. That's
So
cool.
it, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
So you basically, you're not in the Kama Sutra yet.
Kama Sutra.
That's that like the Asian sex book kind of thing.
Oh yeah. You know, I haven't even started it, so maybe it's about time. I'll maybe read a couple pages. You know, I'm into my books and stuff like that, so maybe it's a book that we explore maybe.
It's educational.
Educational.
you know
go
what?
into chakras and stuff like that.
That I think that's a book here for marriage, innit? Like when you're deep in marriage and things are starting to get a bit stale and you
Yeah.
want to spice it up,
Yeah.
I feel like that's perfect.
That's the perfect way to phrase it. I agree. I mean, look, when you're with your wife, right? I feel like there is no boundaries, no barriers or anything else. I feel like if it's your wife, you've basically committed to that human being for the rest of your life. So there shouldn't really be anything that you should be ashamed of, or you should maybe limit if you're married. But
you say this here. So do you? This is just off topic question
Yeah.
here, but do you think that when you're married,
yeah.
your partner needs to be open to trying everything because once you get married, right, you're basically saying that this is us. It's just us now, innit?
Yeah.
So, for example, I know a girl, that I said I wanted to try anal with,
Okay.
and she was like, nah, she's not on it, and she'll never do it.
Right. Okay.
But then it's like, so what if we got married? You wouldn't ever do it. So what?
Yeah.
So you telling me I'm gonna have to cheat to do it?
to experience that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the question
And
was.
vice versa for guys as well. There might be stuff that a girl wants to do.
Yeah.
Like.
So the question was, you used the word need, and that just jumped out to me. So you're saying your wife should.
No, I'm not talking about wife. I'm talking about both husband and wife.
Yeah.
Should they?
Yeah.
Do they have to fulfill all your sexual desires? Do you think?
I think it depends on the type of person you are. Like for me, like I would definitely say if I'm going to be with someone for the rest of my life, right, I'm definitely going to want to know, like I'm going to want to explore in it. Like maybe having sex under a waterfall or something like that. Outdoor sex. Stuff that is maybe I don't know. You could do that with your not wife, but I don't know. You might want to take things to a different level. But I wouldn't say that she has to do that. But I wouldn't marry her knowing that I've rinsed everything and I've done. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like I'm not gonna marry you if I know there's no more room for growth. So whether that be in the bedroom, whether that be in the professional life, in our personal relationship. If we have children, you know what I'm saying? I'm marrying you because we've pretty much done everything that the boyfriend and girlfriend type thing could do now, and now we're going to take things to the next level.
In all aspects, not
In
just
all
sexually.
aspects, every aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
every
read that.
aspect. I'm open to everything, really.
Okay.
With my wife, anyway.
I like that.
With my wife.
I like that. All right. Well,
By the way, people, we haven't even given you like any context. We're just in this very swanky, very
man said
bougie.
swanky. Ambiance.
You know what I'm saying?
Ambiance.
A new spot. Shout out to our guy, our special guest who's provided us with this nice space. Probably hear a bit of background noise in a minute, but it is what it is. It's a shared space. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we appreciate it. Look at the signs and that, fam, and then hustle, bro. Look at the time we out here hustling, getting after it. And
This is what this pod's about. It's about hustling. This is what this episode's gonna be about. Hustling.
Yeah,
I
man.
have to say,
hustling,
though, like, guys, like, honestly speaking, I've obviously been like deep in like watching your stuff, like on and off for a while, and the progression is amazing. Like, you guys are doing very, very well. No, very well.
It's alright.
And so I was super excited to get on the show, man. I said that to you earlier on. You asked me, and I was just like, boom. it was kind of like last minute as well, and I'm like, you know what, I'm definitely gonna make time for this.
Oh, we love
100%.
that energy.
Love that.
This is definitely the one.
Come on.
Nah, looking forward to it.
Come on. Alright, so let's get down to nitty gritty.
Okay.
Nitty gritty. What do you do for a living?
Do for a living? Okay, so just because I don't want to talk about everything, but generally speaking, my main bread and butter is property. So I own an estate agency and also a property investment company as well. We mainly focus on new homes and also like basic property investing in general. So we do like we source properties. We also do like help find like investors with their finances, etc. I mean, so basically that's essentially what I do. Property.
So when you mention that, when you say that, like when a girl chats to you like, so what do you do? And you say, oh, I do property. Do you feel like a change in the aura? Like,
do you know?
Because I was saying this to her, I was like, I'm sure. When I say what field I work in, I work in crypto, innit?
Oh, is it?
I always have to.
you work in crypto?
Yeah, I always have to preface it and say, no, I don't work for none of the dodgy.
Yeah.
I work for an official.
Yeah.
Backed by Google,
Oh, that's so
Red
cool.
all that stuff, innit?
Yeah.
So like, obviously they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's the reaction. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you say I work in property,
Flutter.
man's already booked the hotel.
I'm not even a girl and I'm fluttering. I'm not even a thing and I'm fluttering.
Do you know what? It depends. Okay, look, this is the weird part about, not the weird part, but this is the split between me, right?
Yeah.
All right, so there's like professional me, you know, and there's also like outside of work me, and I've like, since the beginning, I've been in property for 12 years, right?
Okay.
But since the beginning, I've always divided the two. So generally speaking, if I meet someone like in a bar or something like that, it might be after work. You say you're in property and you're wearing your suit and all the rest of it. It's not really a big deal. Like, I mean, everyone's into property nowadays. So they say. But
not like this guy.
no, but you know that like everyone's doing whatever.
Yeah.
So then it kind of like, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's when I'm like dressed like this, I'm chilled, like I'm from like East London, I'm from there like the ends and shit like that. So generally speaking, like I might have a relaxed tone, So if I meet someone in a bar or not so much a bar, but even a nightclub, like a Studio 338, whatever. And I'm not wearing the whole attire, and then somehow we come across we somehow come to a conversation, and it's like, what do you do? And I come in property. At that point, sometimes it's like, really? Like, you know what I mean?
Surprise.
Like
You, what we do, really? And then we get into a little bit of the conversation, and then they really know. I make sure I deliver it clearly, like, I'm not, where it is, I'll just basically deliver it clearly to say, like, well, when I'm in properties, what I do, And then most people ask questions. When they ask questions, I answer those questions efficiently. And at that point, they know that I'm really into property. I'm not one of these guys that are like...
Just saying it for...
in our industry, there's a couple of things that agents or developers in general kind of like, not frown upon, but we don't get excited by hearing it.
What do you mean by frown upon?
Well, there's this thing, everyone's probably heard of it, it's called rent to rent, do you know?
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, like if that's your bread and butter and that's what you guys do, anyone does, it's amazing. I openly saying to you guys, I've got a very small portfolio of rent to rent properties that I've acquired myself over the years. Yeah. But it's more management as opposed to rent, yeah. But when you hear people say, oh, I'm into property, I'm this, I'm that, I've been scrolling on Insta sometimes, and like people are selling these courses of rent to rent and all the rest of it. Yeah. And I've met people and they tell me they're into property, and I find out what they do, and I kind of think to myself, nah, man, you're just on this trend hype. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're doing this because it's kind of hot. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I've been doing property since the beginning of time, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it was the first thing I ever really like took to, other than football and these other things as a youth. I came to property at like 18, 19 years old. So for me, it's like I don't mean to go into a rant about it, but I'm just saying, for me, when I'm just saying, but for me, when I hear people say they're into into property, and like they just started like 5 minutes ago, and they're kind of pitching like as if to say they've been doing it forever, or they're those guys, right? I just kind of think to myself, look, I've been through the recessions, I've been through, do you know what I'm trying to say? I've been through Brexit, I've been through COVID, I've been through all of these tenant feedback, the list goes on, innit? I've been through changes in our industry, all kinds of stuff, innit? Yeah. That basically makes you a property guy, do you know what I'm trying to say? To be able to talk about it to a property guy or developer, and then they understand who you are in it. They know what levels you're on in terms of property wise, isn't it? So for me, I just say in the industry, when I say we frown upon certain things, it's like this whole rent to rent thing is like an easy way into property. We think genuinely thinking it's amazing for those who are doing well in it, but there's also some people that are just burning landlords and stuff like that. And they're taking the property from the landlords, and they're essentially not paying the bills and stuff like that. These tenants, they're not even paying the landlord sometimes. You know what I mean? Because the barrier to entry is not like a huge deposit like buying a house.
It's just a pure renting, and then renting it for more than somebody else.
But exactly.
Just to clarify, what is rent to rent? Just for people that don't know.
So rent to rent essentially is when you find a landlord through an agent or maybe directly, and what you do is you agree a rental figure with this landlord to give him what generally in the industry they call a guaranteed rent, which is not guaranteed at all. But you're sure to pay the landlord the rent every single month. Hopefully, if they've done it ethically, they would have told the landlord that they're going to divide the house into rooms, right? And then, of course, that house now turns in, generally speaking, it depends where you are, turns into a HMO or something like that. And then they rent these rooms out for a higher price, including the bills. Again, generally speaking, including the bills, and then make profit on that. So they might get a 3-bed for like £1,500, which is really cheap, but £1,500, and then maybe make 2k make 2.5k or something, and walk away with like £1,000 or something.
Alright, so they get the difference.
They get the difference. Right. And I think it's genius. Like there's some deals that I couldn't even turn down. That's why I've got this portfolio. But I've also got the infrastructure to support a portfolio of rent-to-rent properties. I've also got the experience to understand how these work, the numbers, etc., etc. I run my own agency, so we do our own marketing and advertising. I've got my own lettings team. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not like some little kind of setup, to just kind of, nick a bit a quick buck. So So that's
No.
Sorry to bore you guys.
No, do you know? Because obviously, like I've seen it on Instagram, right? The rent for rent. That was the first time I ever heard of rent to rent. Was for Instagram, and I'm seeing all these like young people saying, look, you can make this on your return of interest, return of investment.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this is interesting. But in my head, I'm like, so in a sense, what you're doing is just doing something the landlord is too lazy to do himself, basically.
Yeah.
But as in, you take the property off him, you buy a house rent, maybe £1,000, and you sell each room £400 each. And obviously, you furniture, and in my head, I'm just like, if I was a landlord, I would do what you're doing. Or I could get a estate agent to do that for me, and it'll be and I'd make more money than I would.
Because you own a property as well, don't you?
Yeah. Exactly. I own a property, and my parents are into property as well. And in the future, I want to be into property. Like when I bought my house, the first thing I thought to myself was, this is my first house. I'm gonna have more than one. Like, I'm already saving to get another house. Like, that's my mentality.
Well, that's it. Do you live in the house that you own, the first house you own?
I am by myself. I'm looking to get a roommate to help me pay the mortgage.
That's wise. That's very wise.
And then hopefully, my aim is to by 32, hopefully have my second property. That's
amazing.
That's my aim. That's my aim. But hopefully we'll see how it goes.
No, you're smashing it. You're doing very well, man. Very, very well.
All right, people. We just had to take a little intermission because there was, a lot of background noise from background people's, some, GTA characters in the background, 5 out of 10s up there's just to deal with, but we've dealt with them, so we're here.
Man called them background dancers.
Trust me, those 5 out of 10 people.
Backup dancers.
Do you know those ones when you see like, for example, like back in the day you might have done, I don't know, you wouldn't do this now, but like back in the day, there's some girls that you would have done a thing with, whatever, and they're just GTA characters.
So we call them
Sims.
Sorry, I ain't having it.
It's not you.
We're not
We're
talking about you.
Okay.
We're talking about upstairs.
Upstairs.
Okay.
You know FIFA? Player.
I just want to clear my name, do you know what I mean?
Your
Like,
name is clear. Your
Trust.
name isn't even here yet.
You ain't been convicted of nothing yet.
You're innocent.
At the moment.
I don't want to drink that.
There's an extra guest in the room. It's very light, you know. It's not very strong.
Well, the drink.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there's no cost here.
That's fine.
So, before we were rudely interrupted by the people upstairs.
Very interrupted.
By the people upstairs. Roy, you were telling us about your entry into property.
Oh yeah. So about 12 years ago. I think I mentioned that in the last snippet, but yeah, no, it was kind of you know what? When as like a child, of like probably like 5 years old, I always loved properties. I used to build like boxes, that shoe boxes. I used to cut out the carpet that my mum had spare in the room and stuff like that, and lay the cardboard box out with carpet and stuff like that. Cut a door out and use my McDonald's toys and stuff like that to to be people. And I used to steal little wiring kits from school, the electrical wiring kits, and then put that inside the shoe boxes to make it like a house.
To put lights on.
Yeah, to put lights on it and shit like that. So
it was going in.
Oh yeah, I used to love that shit. I used to think it was just crazy because growing up, I couldn't get those playhouses and shit like that. But anyway, but I always thought it was quite cool. Then I used to love construction because I always thought it was like a practical thing, innit? Do you know what I mean? My family business, we own a quite large electrical company that's got a contract like Church of England and stuff like that. Okay. Which I thought at the time, because at that point probably in school I was just like, I don't want to be an electrician. I want to play football and stuff like that, But always love property. And long story short, tried to, after football, I'd done a football scholarship and stuff like that, didn't work out unfortunately. I went into property and I went into try to be an electrician with my family business, but it just wasn't for me. And I was like, I don't want to be I don't want to be in construct, I don't want to build these houses physically myself. Yeah. I'd prefer to sell it, I thought that was more slicker, more cooler. So when I was 18, 19 or so, I just mocked up a CV on the internet. I got a CV from the internet, went on YouTube, YouTube all the words that were in the CV to understand what call out was and all these other things in the CV, and just basically put my name on it and started sending it out to recruiters and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was at a young age, I blagged it on the way, and I got a job in South London as an estate agent, and got rejected a million times. I remember walking down the road with my prom suit. Handing out my CV. 16 prom suits, so GCSE prom suit.
This guy was going in, man.
Yeah. I remember doing that shit, but yeah, that was just because I just didn't really understand how to. I never had a job before. Everything I'd done was if you're not family based, football based and stuff like that, Yeah. So finally got a job in South London and. Smashed it. My second month, I was one of the top sellers in, one of the top agents not top agents, but I banked. I was top 3, and I think there was 12 of us in the company at the time as negotiators. And but it might have just been the season. I don't know. Going way back, I just remember being the top name back then. But then I just realised, I'm actually quite good at sales. I was oh shit, and I never thought of sales. I feel a lot of young kids never think of sales anyway. In this generation, probably more so. But when I was younger, I didn't really think about sales as a job in that, because I just thought, why would I? When I thought of sales back then, it was door-to-door shit, and going to door, selling
sales,
window glazing and shit like that. I was nah, I'm not up for that. So started it off in rentals, and then time just grew. So time went on, and then obviously went on to start my own thing. But I've got a very interesting story about how I started the company.
Lay it down.
You want to know?
Yeah, man, tell us, bro.
It's actually,
lay down the pipe.
Whoa.
No homo. Lay the pipe. No homo.
I said lay the pipe.
Whoa.
That's
foundation.
Yeah, the foundation for the houses in your business. The foundation for your business.
You see this guy? I told you about this guy, bro.
I said lay the pipe.
A little bit gay, I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
I said lay the pipe for the house. In houses you have pipe. Well, I work in the water industry.
Cupping on a sofa, yeah? Talking about lay down the pipe.
Of the foundation for his business.
One person mentioned it.
I'm joking.
I said lay down the pipe. What is wrong with you, bro? Why couldn't you say foundation like a normal person?
Let me get to it.
What's the fun in that?
Go on, bro, tell us.
Right. So, you know the story, yeah? A bit. Right. Oh, you know, we've got a special guest here that actually had seen me from the beginning of my journey. That's how mad it is.
Love that. Love that.
Humble beginnings. Okay, so worked my way up in property, and to being basically like a senior negotiator. I was working for a company that was based around the corner from like Regent's Park, so like we was like like top estate agency, right?
Yeah.
And literally like landed the job of my life. Yeah, I think I was like 24 or something like that. Smashing it again. One of the top legs in the company. They had 2 branches. I went into one of their branches that weren't performing, and I just smashed it. Yeah, and I was literally thinking at that time of my life. Yeah, I just got my license back. Actually, I got. I didn't even go into that, but I just got my license back. So it's like shooting at the cannon. Got a sick job. Boom, it's like killing it. At work, they had some work drinks after work. Right, went to work and had a couple drinks. I don't drink and drive, by the way. I don't drink and drive. In this one occasion,
Responsible.
had a couple drinks. Yeah, I didn't think I was drunk, but anyway, got caught drink driving. Yeah, lost my job. Yeah, like literally, they didn't even give any room for like negotiation of anything. It was like you've lost your job.
Yeah.
Let me just throw a little curveball into this, right?
Okay.
Because if anyone's listening to this, right, that is that had worked with me around that time and knows the company that I work for, I'm not going to mention the company's name, right? This is the truth of what the director and the lettings director, so the director of the company and the lettings director asked me, right? They stood to me, we went on like a quarterly party thing, right? And they said to me, the month that I finished, I think the 3rd top negotiator or something like that, they asked me, well, the lettings director asked me, Roy, do you think being black, you find it harder to do your job? But let me just say this, right? I finished off top, like, again, there was like at least about 10 to 15 legs in this club, or in different areas, but when that question was asked to me, right, at the work, do you think because if you're black, you find it difficult? Can you believe at that age, I think 24, I did not in any way, shape or form realize that if I'm black, it could be harder.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
I feel like that's in a time when companies, like, you think about in the last 2 years, companies have had to make a big impact on diversity and inclusion, and before it was brought into, and this is so wrong, it's so wrong, the whole thing is so incorrect. But it's so wrong that the past 2 years companies have felt like they've had to make an effort in diversity and inclusion, and I've seen it in my own company where I work. Like, we've had to do a lot in terms of our diversity, our training, all of that. We've had to bring up a workforce that are aware of what diversity is and what inclusion is. And if you think back to maybe like 3 years ago, companies weren't doing anything. People weren't doing, and that's so wrong. So as bad as it is, it's no surprise that people said that to you. It's no surprise because people probably looked at you and thought, do you know what, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's not, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying that businesses never felt a type of way about it.
But what was the reason behind it?
Why did they ask that question?
Why did they ask it?
Because maybe you were the only guy.
I was the only black guy.
Do you know what I mean?
If you're killing it,
precisely.
Why are they asking
precisely
about
they
why
feel
we feel
intimidated.
Well, this was weird, right? Because that's exactly what you just said there. Is here's my response to the question. Yeah, so I was like, but the numbers speak for themselves, right?
They feel intimidated by you.
They literally just like laughed it off and just the conversation fizzled out, and it never hit me until I lost my job. That they asked me that question, because I was thinking, I went to my lessons director at the time. I said to him, look, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, this is my situation. I got done. Maybe I can move to property management, or even I can try harder, maybe work on my feet. you know, maybe you guys can accommodate it. He said, I'll speak to the director, and it was like, no, out, gone. And I was like, what? Like, I'm a top performer. Like, how are you getting rid of me? Now, I don't really want to stress much on that because I don't want to turn this podcast into like a whole racial thing. Yeah, but I just wanted to say that because it's just something that I'm going to explain later in when, you know, building my own company, the challenges that I've had, and only at that point I realized maybe being black might be a bit more harder, maybe.
So I think it's important to raise that. I think that's really important. I think when you look at yourself and the position that you're in and the company that you're in, I think it's really important to acknowledge that and compare yourselves to people who are in the same position, who are maybe not from the same background of you, or not the same ethnicity of you, and maybe they get given different opportunities, but that's not okay. But maybe companies don't realise that because they never had to. You know, they never had that responsibility, that social responsibility where they had to say, okay, well, you know, we're going to be more, you know, we're going to be more open, we're going to be more diverse, because it was never a thing. They never had that. They never felt like they had to achieve that or they had to prove that. Whereas in the last few years, it's really been brought to attention and they feel like they have to do more as a business. And as a corporate company, it's been brought to their attention that they have to do more about it. Whereas the position that you were in, when you were in it, no one appreciated it because you were you and you were standalone and you stood up for what you thought was right, and that's great. And I think that's very admirable. But as a business, they should have supported you in that.
Well, this is the thing, right? When obviously I lost my job in it, so it was like, it was like I got fired in it, like. So at that point, when I got fired, I was just like, you know what? Like I said, I just got my license back and stuff like that. So it was like a massive puncher in it, like what? And to be honest, when that happened to me, I literally thought to myself, what the hell am I gonna do with my life now? I don't even have a driving license, you know. Anyway, fast forward. Maybe, you know, in fact, in that interim, not having a job, as most people do, maybe, look, obviously, maybe I said earlier on in the podcast, obviously I'm like, come from the ends, if you like, you know, so I'm used to kind of adversity and having to hustle sort of thing, you know, to make a living, right? So I was like, you know what, forget this job thing, I'm just gonna try and be an entrepreneur and do my own thing. But the only problem was, only thing I knew was property, like literally. And so I tried different things. I tried recruitment, that wasn't bad. Like I tried it. It was really challenging for me because it was boring sitting at my desk all day. You know, I wanted to like be out, meeting people, etc. And then, you know what? Let me just fast forward this. In fact, let me just say this one thing, right? I remember one time it got to, it was like November, I can't remember the year, probably 2015 or something, maybe 2014. I got really low, like, I remember my mum's house, we had no heating and no hot water in the house for like nearly 2 years, do you know what I mean? And I had to go through like, I had to bath, and I'm saying this because some people out there are probably still going through this shit, but I had to bath, right, out of like, you know, Africans do it anyway, but you know the bucket, heat up the kettle.
You gunned yourself.
You know what I'm saying? I had to heat up the kettle, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm a grown man, and even worse than that, right? I had a daughter as well, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I'm just brass, like, do you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I honestly just was looking around at my life thinking, like, honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, this is all I know, property, and it was just so hard, like, do you know what I mean? And obviously Mumsy can't help me because I support my mum, do you know what I mean, even to this day. So, long story short, I said to myself, you know what, I got down to my last £30, and I said, I can't afford to get a job because I need money to get to work, obviously, and I need to be able to eat, and I can't, you know, I thought, I can't really start a company because I can't really employ people to do stuff, and I've worked at smaller companies, but I've only worked at like established companies, like, you know what I mean? Which, you know, even now my LinkedIn and stuff, I don't even mention none of them companies for various reasons, because I'm politically not, I don't want to be associated to them, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I said, you know what, fuck it. go broke and have no money, or start a company.
Okay.
Literally, my last £30, I started a company.
So you just went and started a limited company? Because I know you can start a limited company.
That's what most people want to do. Most people get this fucking pipe dream, and then they go online and start registering companies in their name and the rest of it. I didn't do that.
Okay.
What I did, was I literally went from my phone book. My phone used to get locked off every time at this point. You know when EE you lock your phone off all the time and shit like that. Like I was that guy. Like I knew at the end of the month my phone was gonna get locked off. Like you know what I mean. So anyway, I went through my phone whilst it was still open, and I was like, listen, I must have some landlords or some relationships in my phone that I can call to be able to, start somewhere or something, innit? I just need an opportunity. That's all I need, I just need something to just get me going, innit, There was a landlord that I was very close with back in the days when I first entered property, and I've just kind of followed, we just kept in touch over the years. He's a massive portfolio landlord with loads of HMOs, rooms, and got in contact with him. I just want to fast forward it, but long story short, he let me rent some of his properties. I went to one event and then managed to rent a property, and I got £300 in after renting this property. There's a little bit more that happened between them, but I'm not gonna go through it. Didn't have a car. I used to walk. His properties were in Canary Wharf. My friends will vouch for this. When I first started my company, I did not have no resources. I used to go to St. Asda and get £1 potato and £1 chicken.
I remember this.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
I remember you not having anything.
Nothing. But guess what? I never cared, didn't it? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, bro, I've been that guy. I'm that guy. I'm a sales guy. So for me, I'm not limited to anyone. When you're in sales, in my opinion, you write your own check-in. Do you know what I'm trying to say? In the sense of you decide exactly what you do, your performance. So I knew at worst.
You have to think about the long term. You can't make decisions thinking about the short term.
Well, of course, but I knew that getting a job wasn't gonna work for me, innit? It just wasn't. It just.
But it's not about that.
It's
but
about, I don't.
Whatever you're doing in your business, you have to think long term. You're not gonna do it thinking short term.
No, not at all. But I'm saying when I started the company, I never started on a limited company house and the rest of it, But when I started the company, I was what I just basically did was just basically found properties and just started renting them privately,
Okay.
And when I rented the first one, I got I think it's £330. I was like, oh shit, whoa.
That was quick.
Yeah,
That was easy.
I was quick. In a couple of days, I got down to the last £10 or whatever it was, and then I made £330. I was like, bingo. Then it got to a point where I was renting two rooms in a week, and I was like £600. And it was I started renting bigger rooms that were paying me £500. I was doing 4 rooms a week, 2 bags in a week. I was like, oh shit.
Okay.
So I started to make a bit of money, but bear in mind when you're making this money, you're so much in backlog, all this shit that you haven't paid for and stuff like that. So my car was off the road. I had no insurance. My phone was in and out of you know what I mean. I had no marketing, no advertising. I don't know if I'm boring you guys, but I'm just telling you this shit. For the real, for the people that know me, they know how difficult it was. Difficult. I remember being times where I couldn't even see my daughter because I just didn't have enough money. Do you know what I mean? And she lived in Kent at the time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's seeing her on the weekend, a ticket there and a ticket there and back was £25. Both, so it's £50, and then you have to pay for the oyster, and it was nearly 60 quid. I was doing the maths. I'm I can't do that. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So actually, anyway, that's a different type of motivator. And I'm gonna send you a video of my first so-called, not office, but what I used to do. I used to work 7 days a week, bro.
Yeah.
There was no clock off time. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Not lying.
I was there.
You was there, thank you. 7 days a week, bro. No on or off, no, you know what? That's been a good week. Nah, 7 days a week. I had no office. I used to walk around Canary Wharf, I couldn't even afford to my suit at the time. Even though I said I was making that money, I was making 2-3 bills, wherever it is. That was when I started to get going, I didn't have a suit, so I used to walk around Canary Wharf the jeans and remember the jacket, and I used to have a black bin bag,
Yeah.
This was bad. So basically, some of these rooms that you give me, right? Let's take a look at this.
Okay.
Some of these rooms that it will give me, are dead. Yeah. They're nice rooms in a great location, but were just dead, innit?
Yeah.
And they need a little bit of TLC. So what I did was off my first deal, I went to IKEA.
Yeah.
And I bought bed sheets, pillows, duvet cover and spread and stuff like that. A couple, bits and bobs. I didn't have a car, so obviously all of this stuff is in a black bin bag, yeah? So I imagine I'm walking around Canary Wharf, yeah, for a good like couple of months, obviously I had no car, with black bin bags on my back, yeah, with the dressing for the rooms, right? So I'll go into the room, I think it was like iPhone 5 or 6 then, and I'll dress all the room up here, because it'll just have like a shitty divan bed, like, you know what I mean? And I'll obviously dress the bed up and I'll put the pillows there and everything else, make it look nice and take the pictures, and I'll get the deal, and I'm like, oh shit, that's a good investment. But obviously I can't leave this stuff here, and other agents were on it as well, right? So I had to like take it with me every single time.
Every room.
Room to room.
Bang, bang.
It was mad.
Like
Airbnb thing.
Tom and Jerry, bro. You know when Tom's carrying the freaking the homeless.
With the
bag.
the stick in the bag and the tied up duvet, whatever it is,
Man was
at
really
the back.
in the trenches.
That's
You know
basically
what? You
what.
did well doing it.
You know, so right, so true. And here's the thing, when you've got less to work with and you've got an imagination, right? Generally speaking, you find yourself being more. I won't say productive, because obviously your finances are really
resourceful.
Resourceful is the term. Resourceful. You start efficient, not so much efficient. You start thinking about ways that you can just make do with what you've got. But I've come from that background anyway. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Being not having everything and having to just do what I can do with what I've got. Do you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so started renting rooms like that, basically walk around bin bags, etc. Then one day I got into a little complication. A woman, she was gonna rent a room, and it was like, where are you from? Like, who are you? like, who is, like, what, are you part of a company or something like that?
Why should I rent this room from you kind of thing?
It was like,
I remember that.
do you remember that?
I remember that.
And
You told me about that.
she was like, do you not have, is it not a company or something like that? So after that deal, literally seconds, like, not seconds, but as soon as I was like, yeah, no, I'm working on behalf of the landlord, blah, 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 I ended up getting the deal, but she had to, I'm not going to explain everything actually, let me just leave that there, but she rented the room, not through me, directly through the landlord, of course, but I had to, I realised that I actually need to start a company now, like I need to, do this whole company thing. Just like many of us, everyone gets excited about registering their company or company's house, and they start posting on Insta like it's some sort of achievement. That's far from a fucking achievement. Facts, bro. Yeah, there's a lot of things that come, a lot of things that go into building companies, and it's not registering it. That's the first step in terms of becoming a limited company or liability, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's not running a business, but I realised I had to do that, then I had to start set up a business account. So I'm teaching myself all these things. I've never done this before. I've never run a business before. I don't know about cash flow. I had no credit. Oh, by the way, when my I think I told you this. When the day my limited company letter came through, I had 2 letters, right, in my hand. I was sitting on a DLR. I had this beat up brown bag next to me, like beat up, like the big one like this is like a pouch, like had it there, broke, but I used to print off all of the holding deposit receipts and forms, and put it in my bag and just do it right there on the spot. I used to have a PDQ machine at some point, and then whatever. So anyway, these 2 letters came. Letters used to come to my mum's house like it was like it was like I was Royal Mail. Like honestly, just that bit shit, like
your mom's house.
Man said red notes,
brown letters. So anyway, these 2 letters come through. One brown, one open up one, and one saying, congratulations, you registered your limited company, here's your certificate, and I looked at it just like everyone does, they post it on Instagram pretending like that's already anyway. But yeah, I was gassed, I didn't do that. Instagram wasn't really like a thing like that back then anyway. But anyway, had it, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a limited company now, wow. I get a business account. Then the second letter was
you owe money.
Yeah.
Swear down.
The second letter was you have a CCJ and you have to pay the CCJ within 30 days, otherwise it will be on your credit record.
Who did that CCJ come from? Was that from the company registration?
No. This CCJ came from when I was 18. I took a car out on finance, right?
Oh, they got you because they knew you were making peas.
No.
It always hits back.
Yeah, look, it was a CCJ because basically I bought this car and I was paying. It was a Ford Fiesta ST. I was like 17 years or 18 years old, right? Or 18 or something like that. Bought this car, I was in another bit, the rest of it. But then the payments were like £570 a month. Yeah. I was like, in the beginning, it was like normal, right? Then obviously you lose your job and shit happens. Anyway, so I took it back to them. I was like, listen, take it back. I don't want the car no more. The man said to me, yeah, no problem. We'll take the car back. Blah blah. They took the car back, but what happened was there was a shortfall. I only had the car for like literally 2 months, right? Yeah. But there was like a £4,200 shortfall, like, you know, and I had to make that up. I didn't know about that sort of stuff, right? So I was like, when they said to me that I had to pay this money, I was like, what? Why? Why do I have to pay? I just used the car for 5 minutes. Yeah. Long story short, didn't pay that, and I got it turned into a default. And again, being young and not understanding credit and all this other stuff, I was thinking I could just palm it off and then one day it just go away. But then it turned into a default, and then of course, it turned into a default, and that default then turned into a CCJ.
Yeah.
On the day,
because you don't learn about
hold on.
that.
Yeah. On the day I registered my limited company, thinking that I had freedom. So I have 2 letters in my hand, one saying congratulations limited company, and the other one saying that you have a CCJ.
But no one ever knows how to deal with that. Like, you never get taught how to deal with credit or what that is. Yeah?
I can't lie.
So when you're hit with a CCJ, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what that is. Unless you've got parents that are going to be like,
not
you, like, this is
tell
what
you
that
A, B,
is.
C, and D.
Then you don't know, because I don't know. Like, my parents
could never run a
fucking taught
company.
me that.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Unless I was in school and someone was telling me, like, this is what's going to happen if you take out credit. You don't know.
You don't know.
And you get all these, like, it looks really great, and they're like, I'll give you this much money, like, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, you get a car loan, and you think, that looks fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you take it out, and the next thing you know, what?
Yeah.
Like, they're calling you saying, pay me money, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Stress.
Because no one fucking tells you that's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean,
and they should. That's the whole problem with the system,
well,
right?
the thing is, like, credit's been given to people at ages and time, you know, stages. I think at that time I was like even self-employed. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was doing electrician, and even electrician, I still went on to open up my own company and actually buy a van and work for myself. Forgot to tell you guys about that. But anyway, like, but so yeah, I got a CCJ the day that I started. You know, I registered a limited company. Yeah. Now the reason why I'm mentioning that is because the CCJ was from what stays in your record for 6 years, right?
Yes.
So it's mad. It's insane.
So mad.
It's insane. So imagine you've done this something when you was like 18. You're
one
now
mistake
like
that you make, like one payment you miss and that's it.
You're now like 24, 25. I don't know how old I was then, but 24, 25, whatever. And now you're being slapped with a CCJ. So you've had bad credit technically because you've been in default for some time.
And you didn't even know.
And you didn't even know. Well, I was still able to take things out because I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't doing anything mad, right? But it was just that one thing. Long story short, had the CCJ. And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because when you're looking at these two things, you're thinking about starting a business and you're looking at, you're already £4,000 in debt, but not even £4,000 in debt. You've got a CCJ. CCJ is going to say your credit record 6 years. If you're starting a limited company, you might need a bit of finance. Do you know what I mean? To help you get going, even an overdraft, couldn't get nothing. So I had to build this company, my companies, from literally deal by deal, which I'm telling you now, with no experience, no guidance, no, what's it called, mentors, none of that shit, it's fucking crazy. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you feel like you're getting, I'm doing tax returns. I'm doing a tax return, and I found an accountant. The accountant's like,
what are you doing this whole
what
time?
are you doing? Like, I'm like, I don't even flipping know this stuff. Like, I don't know. Like,
Ain't that fucked? Like, really, you should know how to do that.
But then it's
really, when you think about it realistically, like, we should learn how to do that shit. We're not prepared.
This is the thing, though.
If we want to be business owners and we want to be individuals who own a business and make our own income, there is no preparation. For
I feel like nowadays,
we're set up to fail.
Nowadays, I feel like if you open up a limited company today, as you said upstairs, you can literally go to like YouTube. And just like
so
figure it out,
right? Like, we're so grateful to have that platform.
So
but if you think like 5 years ago, you would never have.
I feel like the concept. I had this idea. There's this idea that.
So if I'm going on a bit.
No, it's good. There's this concept that the idea that the government doesn't want to teach you like how to do all these kind of things
because they don't want you to.
It's not mainly because of that. It's kind of like from school, they kind of section you into positions. So it's kind of like, cool. We know these are the people that can become doctors.
X, Y, Z,
we know these people that can become footballers. We know these people that are going to be the workmen. And it's kind of like, look, we want certain people to fail.
Exactly.
Because if certain people will fail, we know that you become accustomed to not being able to do this or not being able to do that. Because if everybody's successful, you
categorize.
Yeah, you categorize. If everyone's successful in life, well then it's not possible.
But that's not
the way capitalism works. In order for capitalism to work, you've got to have some poor people.
You've got to have a level of system.
Exactly.
Right?
So the
you
idea.
have people at the top, people at the bottom, and that's how it works at school. Yeah.
Exactly.
You have a top set, you have a bottom set, you have a middle set. When you think about I don't know if you had it the same when I was at school.
Yeah.
You had maths, right? You had a top set, a middle set, and a bottom set, and it's like. Really, I'm 13 years old and you're telling me I'm in the bottom set. How is that going to set me up for my life?
And the idea of you being in the bottom set is saying, sorry, in the bottom set,
sorry, you can never be a
business owner.
Do you know what I mean? You're never going to be that.
And in a way, that's okay. That's fine.
That's
can find your own footing.
Can I just intervene there, guys? Yeah. So, like, when it comes to like all of these, in school nowadays, not just school, but it's just like the educational system and all that other stuff. Like, they really push all of this, like ADD, dyslexia, like all of these problems. Like these kids have got, attention, all this stuff, right? Honestly speaking, I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe is a complete bunch of bullshit.
Most of it is.
Let me explain. And the reason why I say that, because I feel like if you look at wealth, like there's even people like what's his name, Virgin Media guy, Richard Branson. He's dyslexic. He's a phenomenal businessman. And in school, what they do, generally speaking, is they give you these titles and then they put you in a position to make you feel, to make you feel like a lot worse about yourself, or make you feel like you need that extra help. And as a child, that embarrassment or whatever it is to ask for the extra help is very difficult. Very, 100%.
Let's go. Alright, sorry, we had a little technical difficulties. Yeah, no, we had to
Testing
change
my
the
1, 2, 3.
sceneries and that because of the we had some wasteman upstairs, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We're back. We're back. So,
continue from the point you were going.
Right, cool.
What's that? My dad sleeping with the lady. All right. So basically, I got in trouble in school because my mum used to work very long hours, right? And she used to own a African Caribbean shop, right?
Yeah.
Selling like dry foods and all this stuff, like African Caribbean stuff. But she also did like sweets and chocolates as well. I guess to bring the punters in, yeah? I don't know. But my mum used to give me like £3 a day and used to be at work from like early morning to like 10 o'clock at night. That's how she was. But what she did, instead of giving me actually money, like more money, she gave me sweets to sell.
Yeah.
Like, so my mum would just give me like a pack like this, yeah, of like Haribos and shit like that, yeah. Not Haribos, like drumsticks or whatever it is, and I'll sell it in school now. Long story short, that I started selling those in school. I made a little bit of change, and then I started buying dinner tickets, and I bought dinner tickets, and then I used to sell dinner tickets. Long story short, I got caught. Right, when I got caught, the lady that came to talk to me about it, because she was like baffed how I even got the dinner tickets, yeah, was like, like who are you, like what are you doing, like, I'm like, oh shit, can we cut that out, please? Yeah, please, definitely put my full name in it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just don't want to put my name out there like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, so I was like, you can cut that out, yeah?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. So I told her my name, right? And when I told her my name, she was like, she was like, what? Screaming on my name, like, oh my gosh, is your father? Said my father's name. So I was like, by the way, my dad's not been in my life. Like, it's probably if this was like a scale of like 1 to 10, yeah, my dad's been in my life about -3, yeah. So
wait. So your dad's not Jamaican?
Nah, he's just yeah. I don't even know where he is now. He's one of those, not hurting. Like, God bless the guy, man. He's just living his life, But long story short, yeah, it turned out that she nearly got married. She was engaged to him, nearly got married. And imagine, I don't even know who this woman is, and she's been my head dinner lady in school throughout my whole senior year. So like, this was like when I was in like year 10. Long story short, she's like, why are you doing this? Why are you selling da da da? And I was like, look, listen, I need the money, innit? Like, I genuinely need the money. Like, I don't have it, and my mum gives me this to be able to sell it, to be able to make money, to have dinner and all the rest of it. She's like, okay, cool. This is what you're gonna do, yeah? You're gonna bring the sweets to me, and the chocolates or whatever it is, and I'm gonna sell it in school and give you the money. At tuck time. You remember tuck time in the morning?
Tuck time, bro. So this is the thing, yeah. So like, if you deep it right, you've always had this like kind of like hustler nature from you.
I don't know why I'm so cocky about it, because I actually was just like, right, who would do that?
People
Who would actually do that?
that's entrepreneurship.
Thank
like,
her.
The kids that are like
Gloria.
selling chocolates and that's just entrepreneurship from young, right? So in your head, like obviously you had lost your job, right? You obviously you're the estate agent before, you lost your job, you started your own business. In your head, you've always been like, I'm a hustler.
I'm used to adversity.
Like a
used to
Del boy,
adversity.
you've always been like, look, times are hard, man's got to have to do what I've got to do. So how did you get from like your small like
That's good.
your small like CCJ from small
Startup
CCJ
kind of thing.
CCJ starting a business. Life. So how did you get from here to like good? Like how did you get to like?
Do you know what, bro? Like honestly speaking, I've always said this for years. I don't think I said it to you, right? If I had credit in the whole time, by the way, the CCJ that I've got on my credit record now is coming off in the first quarter of next year. I don't know if it's January or March, whatever it is, right? I'm actually gonna have a fucking celebration, when that happens, right? But everything I've had to do, I literally have to do by like cash. But what that teaches you in life, is you genuinely have to work for everything. Everything. Like, there is no like, we're a bit short of money this month, we're going to go and get a business loan. There's no like, oh, you know what, we want to expand, let's go and look at this and that, And I didn't even want to because I had a CCJ. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I was like, nah, no debt.
But do you think there should be more education around what credit is and the effect that it has on you long term? Because I feel like as a young person, you take out loans, you get car credit. I know that when I turned 19, I took out car finance. I got the best car I could as soon as I could. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, I want an Audi.
That's the
and
thing.
I'm going to get that. But I never knew the long-term impact of having credit and what that had, what the impact of that was.
I remember being...
how long it lasted on my credit.
I remember being young, I remember being young. No, you're right. I remember being young, right, and missing my phone bill payments in college days and stuff like, whatever. But missing payments on my phone bill and all this other stuff, and missing payments on my car and stuff like that, and be like, let's get it next month.
But that's the
You don't think it's that deep.
Who thinks like that? Like,
no.
You don't think it's that deep.
When
You
you're
don't.
like 18,
You don't.
19, you do not think it's that deep. You're like, fuck me, I missed a payment.
But that's the
It's
thing.
Yeah.
not that deep.
That's the thing,
But
because-
really, if we were educated, we understood the long-term implications of credit and what the impact
Who'd you blame?
is. Who do you blame? Do you
Your
know what I mean?
parents.
Do you blame your parents? Do you
But
blame
that's the thing,
education system?
your parents
I
don't
blame my
know.
parents.
I blame
Your
parents.
parents don't know though.
No,
I
I
don't
blame
don't
my
know.
parents.
I blame
I
parents.
don't blame my
Think
parents.
about this though. Think
I
about this,
don't
yeah.
blame my
Think about this. Your
parents.
parents, your parents might have been working the jobs they
blame
worked,
parents.
whatever
I
they
love
did,
my
yeah.
mum.
But they didn't know either. Like a lot of them
The
come. A lot of them.
problem is with your parents is unless you have parents who are hustlers, and my parents personally never had a great long-term career. Like my parents never had great money, right?
Yeah.
So unless they had
Look like
that, then maybe I would understand more as to why like credit was so important. But I didn't. Like, I was left to my own devices. Like as soon as I turned 16.
So
that was it.
So you're gonna blame then?
You can't blame anyone.
You're gonna blame your parents?
You can't blame anyone. The problem is with I think it lies with the supplies of the credit. There should be more education around the implications that it has.
They've
But
just
why
made
would
it
they do that though? Because think about this, right?
Because it's all about. It's
No,
not about
no, it's not
making
a benefit
money.
to
It's all
you.
about making money.
But it's not a benefit
It's
to
all
you.
about them making money.
So in the sense of, let's say for example, you are a bank, right?
Yeah.
I would much rather give you money for you to pay
You're
me.
gonna make money off you giving me money.
No, I get that off the credit, but say for example, finance, right? Over time, when you buy something on finance, the car company will make more money because the car's on finance. Over 5 years, I'm going to make more than if I would have got just buying a car off right. So over time, it's like, why would I want to teach people about credit? You want people to be in debt.
No,
They
guys,
don't.
guys,
They want-
we're
that's
missing,
it.
we're
That's
missing
the
out.
problem.
No,
That
we're
is the problem.
We're missing out
But
something key here.
No,
Sorry.
no, that is the problem.
Can I
They
just
want
mention
people
something?
to be in debt, but there's not enough done for young people.
No.
When you turn 18,
No.
there's not enough.
There's
time
no.
to
Let me
educate
explain this. Let me explain this, guys. Right, and this is from someone I've never missed a payment in 6 years, thank God. But whatever. But my point being is that I've still got CCJ though. there is two markets here, yeah?
Yeah.
There's a prime market in terms of lenders, right? And there's a subprime market, right? Do you understand what the difference is between both of them?
No, please
right?
explain.
You do, right? You do?
Please explain.
All right,
Just a little bit.
the prime market is, if you, for example, let's just use mortgages, yeah, is the market that you can go into a high street bank and get a loan or a mortgage straight to the bank. They'll give you the best rates possible, yeah, that they can offer. The subprime market is essentially where the big money's made, right? Those are those people who don't have credit or who have adverse credit in history, and you then crank up the interest rates, right? Mm-hmm. Now, they pitch it in this way, the lenders, you are higher risk, so because you're higher risk, we're going to charge you a higher interest rate.
Because you need the money and we know we're going to get the money every single month.
But okay, so wait, so if someone's got a worse credit history of paying money, why are you going to lumber them with more debt?
Okay.
Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
If
like,
you're a parent and you've got no money and you are desperate to buy your children Christmas presents, and you're getting this offer that says, we'll give you, however, XYZ, we'll give you $2,000.
Don't buy them Christmas presents.
Okay, but the pressure is there. Society puts that pressure on you as a parent.
Don't buy them Christmas presents.
Right.
The best present you could do is sort out your life. Like, that's the truth.
Say that, but it's hard.
As a parent, you're going to look at your kids, they're going to go to school, their friends are getting XYZ, their friends are getting a PS5.
Yeah.
And you know what mum and dad say? We don't care about what your friends. This is what. From an African background, this is what your parents tell you. We don't care about. We don't care about what Johnny's doing over there and what Martha's you've got. We don't care.
You don't care about it.
And that's what
you
happens.
don't have it.
I get that.
Yeah.
But also from other kids, you have to look at it. When
I know
was a
though.
fucking kid,
I remember.
my parents
I remember
couldn't
though.
afford fuck all.
Yeah, I remember.
And they got in debt. My parents got in so much debt trying to make us happy and give us what we wanted, whatever. And that has kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of passed down. Like, I don't understand anything about credit and what that is and how to manage my money because my parents never had that. They took out loans, they took out credit cards to try and give us whatever we wanted, which I think, I don't blame them for it and I don't resent them for it. But also, on the other hand, I'm like, what lesson has that taught me?
But what lesson has that taught your parents to then 2002? So look, I see it as in credit, man. Credit is very forgiving, yeah. In a sense, not very forgiving, but can be quite forgiving if you treat it right, yeah. And this is for someone who has adverse credit, yeah. And I've learned that it's been the hardest 6 years, trust me, of doing everything by cash, right? I don't mean physical cash. I mean just like being able to build up the right amount of capital to be able to do deals or to grow the business or to do whatever it is I do, yeah. So I've had to learn how to manage my money and how to work harder to be able to make that money, and that's been a lesson within 6 years of having a CCJ in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, there's another way to look at it. Is there's some people that have no bad credit at all. They just don't take out credit. The reason being because they don't want to find themselves in any debt or whatsoever. So there's which is I mean, well, look, there's good debt and there's bad debt, right? Obviously, a mortgage can be used as good debt. In my opinion, though, if obviously you live in your house at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But whilst you live in that house, in my opinion, just basically how things work in my world, right? If you go to work, right, to produce an income, which takes up majority of your time to go to work to produce that income to pay off your mortgage, in my opinion, that's bad debt. And the reason why I say that is because essentially you want to be able to you want to leverage your debt, right? And if you can leverage your debt, then that means that's good debt. In other words, if you bring someone else into your property and they're renting another debt, exactly, then that now turns into a good debt, because you pay off the interest and also you pay off some capital repayments, etc. And then you start to step into the world of wealth.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I have a question based on this now. So I had a question because obviously you know property, right?
Yeah.
So this is a question I had in regards to renting and a mortgage, right?
Okay, yeah.
So
spoke about this at the festival.
No, that's of course. So my thing was, right, my parents said to me, right, look, Mike, don't rent. Yeah, they said, look, stay as long as you need to do in this house.
Good.
Yeah? You save your money
Yeah.
to buy a mortgage,
Yeah.
and then one day you'll have your mortgage, and then you can do the fuck with you want to do. So that's what
Done
I
the
did.
right thing.
And I do you know what? When my parents were telling me to save when I was young, and I was going on to Manchester having a fun time on my weekends, I was like, what these old fogies know. And then when I started saving, I was like, oh shit, these niggas are spitting. They were spitting. Yeah, and I'm so glad that I listened to them, innit?
Yeah.
So
Smashed it, bro.
So I'm happy with my position, right? But there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of young people that, because of the way the market is now, they will never own a property. They will only rent, which is not a bad thing.
I mean, they could. No. Everyone can own a property. Guys, come on, everyone can own a property. Like, let's not say that. There's properties in. There's properties in Burnley for like 10 grand right now. If you want to go and look online, right? I think 5 grand. Go and have a look. Right? There's properties in Liverpool for £1, right?
Well, okay, just to cut you beforehand, this is like a twofold question, because part of the questions we're going to ask you is a lot of people are like, it's London or nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
it's London or you. That's how you feel right now.
There's no way I'm ever.
That's all lifestyle, man.
To buy in London. There's no way. I've accepted that.
But
why?
Unless I have a partner who I bought with and we had half a deposit each and we went into that together, there's no way I can afford to buy in London.
Before we get Roy to dive into it, I'm just going to say that it seems that you've already accepted London or nothing. Because you just said that you don't feel you'll ever be able to do it, but he's just told you that there's properties up in Burnley for 10k.
I'm not talking about Burnley, I'm talking about
Okay, quick question. Whereabouts in London? North, west, east?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm asking you, where do you live?
If you're in a London.
Where do you live? Where do you live, Izzy?
Okay.
Where do you live?
Like, what about? I don't need to just.
I'm just saying, if you want to buy within a London borough.
She's posh.
Yeah.
Like, where'd you live?
I'm not from London. Okay.
So why do you want to live in London so much?
Because I don't want to live in London. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying I could never afford to buy in London.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But you can afford to buy somewhere else.
I could buy somewhere else. 100%.
Okay. So I'm just saying, say for example, you live right now in North London, yeah? That's where you pay your rent for wherever you live, right? What is wrong with living in Hertfordshire? If you lived
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because you could afford it, right?
Hertfordshire is nice.
Within a London borough,
Yeah.
if I'm talking about within London boroughs, okay, Hertfordshire is not a London
I
borough.
know, but why do you need to live in a London borough?
I'm not saying I have to.
Okay.
I'm saying there's no way that I could ever afford to on my own.
In a London borough.
Alright, I get it.
Salary.
Yeah.
I'm very successful. I have a great job.
Yeah.
I earn a good
She has a
amount.
very good job, actually. She's actually quite good at what she does. So.
And I rate myself, but there's no way that I could ever afford to buy, right now, at 26 years old, there's no way that I could afford to buy a property in London. I could buy out of London. I've got enough money for a deposit to buy out of London.
Yeah.
You know? I could buy back in Bournemouth where my parents live. I could do that if I wanted to. But there's no way that I can afford to buy and live in London on a mortgage.
Okay, no.
I might as well just rent.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
You know?
That's cool. So this is the question I'm asking in regards to renting a property adverse to buying a property. Because I live in Hertfordshire and I bought a property, right? And I can come to London whenever I want. So in my position is I like the fact that I have a mortgage because in my head I'm basically playing. Yeah. In my head,
I feel like that's very admirable.
Savings
yeah, because in my head it's like, well, I'm paying the same amount I would as rent, and I'm gonna own it. The only thing is I have to deal with any shit that happens. So, but what, like, in regards to this, right? You're living in London at the moment. Why couldn't you buy?
I live right now.
Yeah.
I live zone 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way I could ever
Living beyond zones. No, that's what I'm saying.
I could never afford to buy where I live right now.
I know that. I get that. I know
No
that.
way.
But what I'm saying is, what makes you not want to go live in zone 6?
Potentially I could, but right now I don't. I'm 26.
You don't
I
want
like
to.
living in zone 2.
Okay,
I like the accessibility of it.
Yeah.
I like being able to get to work in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy
Can I just
the
ask?
lack of pressure.
I really want to talk.
Yeah, go.
I really want to talk.
Yeah, go. Go.
Why did you guys? Because you brought me on a property tip. I'm just like chatty.
No, let it out, bro. That's what we're here for, man.
We want to get the scoop, bro.
Right. In this day and age, in this day and age, I feel like we live in a world of FOMO,
Yeah.
and it's infecting everybody. Like it's infecting everybody, right? I've been a victim myself, and plenty of times to FOMO. I also feel like inclusion is a stimulus, right? people want to feel part of postcodes, people want to feel part of communities, people want to feel part of, social groups, etc., right? I've had friends that are like renting rooms, right, in like Mayfair, Chelsea, etc., for like £1,500, right? In my personal opinion, you don't have to do that, right? That's just my personal opinion. But nothing's wrong with that. If that's how you choose to spend your money, genuinely speaking, hand on heart, spend your money, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are spending all sorts of money on things. Let me just land with this, right? So my thing is, right, if you take all your emotions out of where you want to live, how you want things to be for them now, and focus on what you want for the future, you can genuinely achieve whatever you want, right? And I say that because you've got a deposit, yeah. You've got a deposit, right? You can use things like government schemes like Help to Buy, as a potential. It might not be the most flashy apartment or whatever it is, but if you're living in zone 2, you can buy easily a 1 bed for about 350 to probably even let's say between 320 to probably about 380 with 40% Help to Buy, yeah.
Because what is with society's pressure of you having to get on the property ladder?
No, you don't. No, there's no pressure to do that. That's nonsense. And
Well, that's what you think, but I think that
no, it's if you accept it, if you
have to be on the property ladder.
No.
By the age of 30.
Here's one thing I just want to say. I could say so much about it. Basically, property is a vehicle, for life, just like your car, right? If you invest right and you buy something, I don't know if not investing right, but if you buy a property that in a relatively decent location, I'm not talking about in the middle of nowhere in the West Midlands or something, in a decent location, you should over time see some sort of capital appreciation in line with inflation at worst case scenario, because that's what life is.
And that's what property's done. That's what it's shown us to do.
How much were our parents buying properties for back in the days? Like, 50 grand, 100 grand. Like, I've heard like 20 grand for like townhouses, like maybe 30, 40, 50 years ago, like quite some time ago. My point being is that you can't, like, property's a vehicle, right? I see property as a vehicle. I have, at this moment in time of my career, it being in property, I have zero attachment to property, like in terms of emotional attachment. I use property as a way to generate income, right? And I feel like people of our generation, we're so young, we can get 35-year. I think there's even a new mortgage that's coming out. It's like
5% mortgage.
45-year mortgages coming at fixed rate and stuff like that. I can't remember the lender, but I will. If we put in, I can tell you, right? I can put you in contact with my brokers, etc. My point I'm trying to say is that if you don't give up what you want today. Don't sacrifice what you want today for your future goals, innit? Yeah. I don't know if I'm saying that right. What I'm trying to say basically is if you make the right decision today, just start somewhere, yeah? And ideally buy a buy-to-let, right? And just hold and wait. I would personally recommend you to rent that property out, right? Or at least break it into rooms, like you said, rent the other room out. I personally would recommend that because it gives you more leverage. If you can rent that property out and also rent a property elsewhere, that means that property that was now 100% liability has now become less incredibly of a liability. You get capital appreciation, you get income, and you get some sort of net profit every month from after, of course, paying your mortgage. Yeah, you can put that towards the house that you desirably want to live in. You're going to work, earning a salary somewhere, right? And that salary is enough for you to live where you want to live anyway. So why don't you just rent that house out, right? Stack your money, and continue to keep. And obviously, you can refinance and take money out that property and get into another deal. Do you see what I'm trying to say? The idea is you want to be ultimately, and look, this might not be everyone's goals in life, so I totally get it, but you want to be you want to have the most financial mobility as possible. So going back to your question, sorry, Izzy, 2 months, right? Going back to your question, is renting better than buying? Definitely, absolutely not. Obviously, buying's always the best route to go, right? But if you're seeing it from property being a vehicle and an investment perspective, what I'd recommend you to do is to ideally continue renting, stay within your means, and rent out your property, your investment property, and continue to duplicate your portfolio. That would mean that a compromise potentially in your lifestyle, or in some sort of way, but I guarantee you, if you use that method for at least 5 years, just going by track history, you're not going to make a mistake.
I like that.
But do you feel like there's an unrealistic pressure on young people to have to get on the property ladder? Because I do.
I feel like
I feel like that is. No, I feel like there is still 100%. Because it's so difficult. You have to earn X, Y, Z to get a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have this much deposit. Like realistically, how many people have that on their own?
I mean, this is the thing that always gets people was in my head was the deposit.
I haven't lived at home since I was 19 years old.
Yeah, because you
smashed it.
So I've been paying rent since I was 19.
Yeah.
So how am I meant to pay rent and save for a deposit and be able to get on the property ladder by the age of 26?
Can I ask a question?
You know what I mean?
Can I ask a question? Like when you were 19, did you move to London?
I moved to London.
You moved to London, and why did you move to London? Like, was it career opportunities, right? So, in my head, obviously you're renting in London, blah 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 blah. So, when Roy was saying you have to do certain sacrifices in order to get that deposit, because like in my head,
Did you sacrifice?
Me, in a way, yeah, because I don't buy drip. I don't buy drip.
The difference is you are not paying rent, right? You're living at home.
That helped as well. That helped as well.
You're not paying rent. I'm paying like £800 a month in rent.
Yeah.
At 19 years old.
Yeah, I get that.
And
Yeah.
I'm starting off my career. I ain't earning.
Were you left with any money after that 800?
Fuck all.
Okay. Here's the thing,
in your current situation,
I'm trying to pay rent.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to do all the things that I want to do as well.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I meant to get on the property
wait.
ladder?
Here's one thing, right? I'm not saying before then, right? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't really start properly saving till I was like 24, right?
Yeah.
So really and truly, it's taken me 3 years to save up for my mortgage, right? So you probably earn more than me for my actual job, right? But like, I don't know what your lifestyle is, but I've seen you, like, you're quite well dressed, like you look after yourself.
But I don't spend money on that.
Oh no, okay, then maybe I'm wrong. But in my head, I'm just thinking,
She gets free clothes.
Yeah, but let's just say, for example, you earn free. Let's just say, for example, you earn 3K a month. Yeah, because I'm assuming you have a good job, right? You earn 3K a month, £1,000 for rent. Yeah. And £1,000 a month for.
But I also have to give money to my mum.
Oh no. Okay,
No,
cool.
it's about your expenses.
That's cool. I'm just doing a random.
I'm just trying to tell you.
Yeah.
How hard it is for someone to be able to afford a lifestyle, paying rent, living in London, doing the things they want to do. I want to go out. I want to go and enjoy.
No, I get it. I get it.
I want to go
But I get it.
I don't feel the pressure that society puts on me to get on the property ladder.
But how about the pressure society puts on you to go to all these fancy places?
No one puts that on me. I want to do that.
So what society puts you on? Yeah.
Because I enjoy it. I like the
But why didn't you?
But this is what I'm
Why
trying
didn't
to
you
say.
do it in
This is what I'm
abundance?
trying to
I
say.
don't do any of that for no show.
I'm cool. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, if you earn free.
I go to fucking Nando's every day.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean? It ain't about that.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if you really wanted a property, you don't have to have a property. But if you really wanted a property, you wouldn't go to Nando's. You'd cook lunch.
I don't agree with the pressure that society puts on young
There's
people.
no pressure to
You
it.
can't.
I don't think there's no pressure.
You can't have.
Pick one. If you really want a property,
Maybe I don't.
Have you saved for anything? Have you saved for anything before and bought it?
Saving.
No, have you saved for something and bought it before?
No, I have.
Have you not? Have you ever had to save for something and then buy it?
No.
You've never had to save for, and you
I have
must be
saved
incredibly
as
rich.
well.
But have you not saved for a bag? Have you not saved for some
No, I
shoes?
just bought it.
So
Because what this tells
what
me,
were you-
because this was.
She don't have money problems.
Because what this tells me.
She don't have
what
no
this tells
money.
me is, it's not saying,
Lifestyle.
It's not saying that you want to put.
Every
what it tells
money me gets.
it's about a saving mentality, innit? So, for example, like saving for a goal. Yeah, and it's like
Get into austerity mode. That's what
I
you need
get
to
that.
get.
I get that. 100%. I get that. Right. You're
Just
saying
bourbons and milk for dinner. Sorry, I've been there. Trust me.
You're saying I need to save X, Y, Z to get a deposit, whatever. I have money in the bank. Like, I ain't bothered about that. I could go and fucking buy a property in Newcastle, whatever I wanted to do, yeah?
Why not?
I just haven't done it. I just
There we go.
have not done
So
it.
you can
You
buy a
have the
property.
option.
So there's no pressure.
You can't say,
There's no pressure.
You can't say that you can't do it because you can do it.
I could
You have
do it,
facilities to do
We're
it. You just don't
literally.
want to.
I think I
And
answered.
You've answered your own
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Now,
I have.
now we've
Exactly.
gone back to it.
That's why I
Give
said.
me a day off.
If you bought a property in Newcastle in 5 years ago, yeah, you would have seen a tremendous growth in capital appreciation, and that would have given you enough deposit, ideally, to start off somewhere in London, right? It's just
You fucking told me
5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever, I had the CCJS, I will tell no one about shit, but yeah, like kind of obviously I don't want to get way off topic, guys. Obviously I want to make sure that listeners are getting like pure like top content. So like, is there any questions that we want to kind of get out of the way so we can?
I had one more question about property,
Yeah.
and we can talk about other stuff.
Yeah, sure.
One final question is:
Yeah.
do you know why London properties are the prices they are?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I think Izzy's kind of answered a lot of that already. There's a massive attraction to being in London in general. Yeah.
Social currency, right?
Sorry?
Social currency, right?
Yeah, literally, yeah. So London's generally a place to be.
Agree with a lot of things. Is
That's not it.
What?
She's like, I object.
I object. I do object. Because
Okay,
it's career
this is
opportunity,
interesting.
right?
Yeah,
So Bournemouth,
'Cause
where
apparently
I'm
you know.
from,
yeah.
there is
Canberra Sands.
limited career.
Sandbags.
I could not have. I could not have the career that I have now living in Bournemouth.
Do you know what? I'm gonna give you a big no, you're wrong here. Do you know why?
I'm not wrong.
Should I tell you why?
how many
Should I
days
tell
did
you
you
why?
work from home?
Do you know why? COVID. COVID has
Okay.
changed
Yeah.
everything.
I could work from home, but I would not earn as much.
No. Okay, because I listen to LBC a lot, yeah, and I was listening.
I
Yeah.
listen to LBC.
Oh, love it. James O'Brien's my favorite. That's my guy.
go on.
So I was listening there, and there was a guy.
I
on
need to
there,
listen
like,
to LBC.
Used to live in London, and I've now moved to. I used to live in London, and because of COVID, I work from home.
I'm
And
just
the
going
reason,
to interject.
No, well, hold on. Let Mike finish. I want to hear what he said.
Alright.
so he was like, I moved to London from my parents' house in Portsmouth, and the reason I moved was obviously job opportunities like yourself. Good job. He said since COVID, he said I will not go to a job where they won't let me work from home, because now he's moved back to Portsmouth, right? And he's saving, living back to Portsmouth, and there's no reason why he can't live back at home and save up to get a house. It's possible for him because of COVID and living from home. I'm not saying that your job would. I don't know how often you work from home and stuff like that, but I do know people at my company as well. They live up in like the Midlands, and they work at this company that's down in Hertfordshire. So COVID has made it possible for you to live at home. So now, if you can work from home, I don't know if they allow you to do it.
Okay.
Why don't you move back to Bournemouth?
I'm going to just tell you something, yeah?
Yeah.
I've worked from Bournemouth in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I'm earning more than I ever would working for a company in Bournemouth, because I'm still getting like London wage,
Yeah.
if you like, okay?
Yeah.
Because I work in the city.
Yeah.
I earn a decent wage for what I do.
Yeah.
I have worked my fucking arse off
Yeah.
to do what I do, yeah?
Yeah.
For someone who left school at 16, yeah?
Yeah.
I've worked my arse off to do what I do. So I am more than entitled to the wage that they pay me.
Of course.
There is no way, if I work for a company in Bournemouth, that they would pay me what I
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you.
What I earn.
Work from
But I could live in Bournemouth and I
Yeah.
could work from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And my business, if I was working from home, would still pay me the same thing, and they have done, because I worked from Bournemouth for a long amount of time.
So that's the point I'm making.
So you could.
I could, if
So
I
you
wanted
could.
to, yeah.
You just don't want it, man. She don't want it, man.
She
She don't want it,
has
man.
all the
She don't
options.
want it, man.
I
She
feel
wants to
like-
go. She wants to go
I feel
Nobu.
like she's got all the
Guys,
options.
it's not about
She's
that.
got all the options.
I don't want to live with my
She's got all the
parents.
options.
Like, I don't want to live at home with my parents.
She's got
fair
all
enough.
the
Like,
options.
I want to have my own independence.
NSG option.
Her options, like
Okay.
literally,
Okay.
she's got
Okay.
savings. She can buy a
Like,
house.
some people don't have
She can live in sandbanks and
Right.
da.
Right.
You're up.
Some people don't have healthy
Yeah.
relationships with their family. And
We
their
appreciate
parents.
that.
I don't want to live at home. I haven't wanted to live at home since I was
What was the
16.
question you asked? Sorry.
But
to
why
cut you.
London prices are so
Why
expensive?
London prices are so high, right? Like generally speaking, I mean London's always been it's a capital of England, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like in generally speaking, this is where most of the general trades, tourism happens, right?
Yeah.
So of course, it attracts people from like all around the world, right? Yeah, exactly. So essentially, if you was to go to Lisbon, or you was to go to Barcelona, or you was to go to Monaco, Cannes, etc. These are like all very major hotspots, and of course, because of the tourism is a major thing in general economy, right? If you look at like even Dubai, right, Abu Dhabi, right, tourism is ridiculous there, right? There's novelty money there, there's wealth there. There's novelty money generally is essentially people that come in and just spending money to just like, who spends like £14 on a Coke, like normally no one. But when you're on holiday, it's, do you know what I mean?
It's what it is.
Meaning that there's more money flowing, more, you know what I'm saying? So London is like that. There's more liquidity here, and generally speaking, it's a spot where everyone comes to. So everyone wants to be essentially not everyone, but some people want to be more central.
Alright, so what would you say? Just to categorize it, what would you say are the top 3 drivers of
drivers? Oof.
So you said tourism's one.
Tourism's major. Also, obviously businesses. Like there's a lot of businesses based here. Like if you look at like Canary Wharf, for example. Do you know what I mean? It's just like
High sky rises.
Exactly, yeah.
So
Like
tourism, business,
and also I'll say like what's it called? Transport, generally speaking. So most people, coming to London are trying to generally not just come into London, but if you was to move to London from like wherever you're going in the world, you essentially want to come to a city where you can get around and see stuff, or just mobility wise, right?
Okay.
So
transport and social.
Transport and
Earning potential.
well, I mean, the reason why I kept out earning potential, right? Because genuinely speaking, especially off the back of what you just said, yeah, you can earn big bucks from home, like doing anything you do. Like you don't have to essentially be. Depending on your skill set. Depending on your skill set.
Holds water because at the moment, because the COVID transition has only just started.
Yeah.
So we're still early into it. So I can understand her point at the moment.
I agree.
I will also say within the next 2 years, your point will hold.
But that's also why I said, like, I gave an example of like Canary Wharf businesses, right? Generally speaking, people come here to work for businesses. We for my company, we do a lot of corporate relocations with a lot of like even Netflix, Google, etc., Facebook. People come from all over the world essentially to come to London to work at their offices based in London. So yeah.
You want to rebuttal?
I just feel like I've come from a town where it is a factory-based town, right? Everyone there has a very, you work as an electrician, you work as a plumber, you work as a receptionist, you get pregnant at 18 and you have a baby, right? That's not me, yeah? That's not the career that I want.
Don't recommend it.
What I want is I want to be successful and I want to do things that I'm good at. And if I can't get that from where I'm from, which I can't, it's very limited, I want to come somewhere that's going to give me the opportunity that I can get, that I know that I've got the potential to succeed and I'm going to be very successful. And I'm hardworking, I know my worth, I know that I'm good at what I do, I've been given the opportunity. If I was not good at what I did, I would not be given the opportunity. And there is a lot more earning potential, and a lot of people move to London based on the fact that they come from areas where there's limited career opportunities. Like in Bournemouth, what am I going to do? Be pregnant by 21? Do you know what I mean? That ain't me.
So there's a bit of a London dream going on here.
It is.
So it's social.
The big apple.
I want a career. I want to be successful. I'm not, I want to be that person. I want to have a great job and I want to do well. And the only way that I feel like I can do that is if I move to London and I get a great career, which I've done, and I've built a great career for myself. And it's very sad that people think that people move to London based on the fact that travel is the only thing.
Transportation is a major thing.
That ain't it.
It's not.
People move to London because there's no opportunities from where they're from, and people.
It's true. That's dead true. And I stand corrected. That's true. I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
Do what I do now.
I just try to avoid. Dead right. I just tried to avoid that because I wanted to add some more adversity to, not adversity, but I'll try to add more options to what's obvious. Like, do you know what I mean? No, it's true. It's true. They're true. Yeah, true. But that's also based on what my first point was I said about businesses being here.
The earning potential that I had living in Bournemouth, I would still be there because I wouldn't have to pay rent. I'd live with my parents.
But it also depends on the industries.
Whereas now, it's like I've had to work my fucking arse off to get to where I am.
But it also depends on the industry, right? You agree?
I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky with my career. I'm very, very lucky, right? I am, right? So there's no way that I would be in the position.
Do you
that I
mind
am
sharing
now.
what you do?
No, you don't have to do it.
Just what you
I
do.
started as a estate agent.
Okay.
I left school at 16.
Yeah.
Started as an estate agent. Went into recruitment. Did that for about a year. My boss saw a lot of potential in me. She said, you know what, Izzy, I think I was working very closely at the time with the girl who did marketing, and my boss said to me, you know what, Izzy, I think that you would be really good at marketing. And she said to me, look, if I give you this opportunity to do the job of marketing, will you do it? And I said, yeah. And I taught myself everything I know, right? For 3 years, I have taught myself absolutely everything, and I'm doing an exceptionally good job. And
That's what we call an intrapreneur, by the way.
Entrepreneur. I love that.
Intrapreneur, working within a company and being able to shine your abilities.
I'm someone who has come from I literally left school at 16. I worked my arse off. I didn't go to college. I didn't go to uni. I didn't do X, Y, Z. I just proved myself in my job that I had potential and that I was capable of doing something. And somebody gave me the chance to say, look, you can do this and you're going to be really good at it.
Can I ask a controversial question?
Of course you can.
If you were black, do you think that you get the same opportunity? I'm so sorry to anyone listening that might take offence to this. I'm just wondering,
What is the
right?
difference of the colour of my skin compared to what I can bring to the table?
No. To be fair,
know
on
what
that
I
basis, you're an anomaly on that basis.
Yeah,
because,
I'm an anomaly,
like
and
you
I
say-
appreciate that.
No, that's good.
Not everyone has the opportunity that I have, and I appreciate that. You know, people go to university for 3 years and they want to do marketing and they don't get the job that they want. And I, suddenly fell into it. But I didn't. I've worked my fucking arse off. I have worked hard.
No, that's good. That's good.
I've worked really
Been
hard.
following her from the
Just-
beginning, like,
just
and
to-
can I just say that comment I just said, by the way, is for Bant's sake. I don't want anyone to take any
of
offence
course.
into that.
So just-
I'm just saying.
Just to round up on that point, London Dream. But there's also other factors that
Major
go into it
factors.
as well. But we do understand the London Dream and big yourself up for.
Well done, you dismissed it.
It is a dream. Just like
come
people
on.
go to America and they go, oh,
Big apple.
American
I
dream.
don't know about that. I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. I think it's more about being a person who wants more for themselves.
Yeah, it's a
than
dream.
fucking getting pregnant at 18 years
Yeah, so
old,
you're aspiring
you
for
know.
better. It's the London dream. You're aspiring to do better in your life.
Your
and
dream
you've done
became a
so.
reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was the London dream.
Because
Before-
everyone from Cornwall just gets pregnant at 18.
There we go. So before we move
Cornwall?
on to the
Bournemouth.
thing, in one word, if you were to say one thing, someone that wants to get involved in property,
Oh, yeah. Shoot,
one
yeah.
word of advice, one thing, what would you say to them?
Do you know what? Get a... No, first of all, I
One
can't
thing.
say one thing.
One thing.
Oh,
That's the pressure.
right. Education. Education.
Education.
Where would you say to go for that education?
Honestly speaking, I would say experience first.
Okay.
Experience first.
Okay.
Go and. Can I expand on that a little bit there?
A little bit. Just a little
Because I just don't feel like it's good enough. All right. So some people just jump on courses and an essay course, which is service accommodation, or some people just jump on a HMO course and then they feel like they're just fit to go. In my honest opinion, property is a culture business, and understanding the culture of the business will carry you a lot further. So if you can ideally, I'm not saying go and work at an estate agency, but do something more property based, so you can understand property in general, it will just help you to naturally grow. I've been on a few courses, many courses in fact, but a lot of the stuff that I found on these courses I already know already because I'm part of the culture. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So you meet people that will naturally just help you. So I would say education, but ideally if you can, just go and get some experience. That's
I love
So
that.
you're also saying that networking is very important.
Networking is incredibly important in property. It's almost everything. So.
Okay. Lovely stuff. I think we can do like one more topic
Okay, cool, yeah.
before we go on.
round
Before we
up.
round up.
Yeah.
So, I love politics, man. I
I
fucking
realise
love
you're
politics.
so good at that.
I love politics.
You're actually really like wired in. with that
I'm
stuff.
bare smart. I just don't like to show it.
Nice.
I hate showing
Fucking
it.
genius.
I'm not genius, but I'm smart. And Go away.
Say specific.
Listen, we're not bullying right now.
I mean, I went back to like 2014 on one of your on your YouTube page, and you was like talking about the government and the rest of it. I was thinking,
I love
12. I was thinking, bloody hell.
I got a degree in politics. I love it. No one even knows I have a degree. I just keep that shit quiet. I'm just like, I'm an idiot. Just don't need to know that.
Because you are an idiot.
I am an idiot, but that's different. So basically, right, I've got a question for you, man. Right, Boris Johnson and them man had a rave. Last year,
they had the shubs. Them man were there, honestly.
Matt Hancock.
Video.
Yeah,
them man were doing the most.
Got the mic. He said, on a blood clot.
They were doing the most.
Man said, every man grab a gal. He said, Theresa May, grab a man.
All I heard is,
he said that.
You know them race.
Them man had a shubs.
Watch it. That's what I said.
You get me? Them man had a shubs, yeah.
I saw some daggering.
You get me? There was daggering,
There was daggering.
Yeah, them man had a shubs, yeah. When they said to us, man, you can't hug your nan.
Can't hug your nan.
Here's a 10. There's a.
Like
You can't go funeral. You can't go through. Yeah, they said. If you have a party yourself, that's a 10 grand fine. 10 grand fine. So obviously it's all mad. But here's the real question I want to ask you, man, in regards to this, because everybody knows it happened. After hearing this, that the government had a party, were you angry about it?
No.
And why not?
I mean, there's parties going on everywhere right now that we're not a part of, whether it's political, whether it's financial, whether it's, social, whatever. There's like, you know what I mean? You got to be part of the crew. You got to be part of the gang to enjoy it. And as much as like, I see like politics, as just one whole big, well, a lot of it is propaganda and just general, just honestly speaking, a lot of it is full up of just filler nonsense. Like, 100. And I'm certainly not someone to be the spokesman of about politics. I do not in any way know remotely the amount that you know about politics, but I do clearly understand that it's one rule for us and it's one rule for them. The quicker you can just accept that and understand that if you think just because you saw the one party that's the only thing that them man were doing, then you could just move on and be like, the people that want to sit there, protest and start standing outside Parliament and doing all the rest of it, like, to be honest, I just say I can't say, I'm not saying anything, right? But I'm just saying it's happening every day in every industry, in every political situation, innit? Like, we're here talking about a situation of these people in Parliament having a party, but there's like flipping Navy SEALs and all the rest of it going around the world shooting up flipping places in remote locations for oil and resources, etc. Like, are we even having the right conversation? Do you know what I'm trying to say? My point being is a party going on somewhere, and there's things going on somewhere that we don't have privy to in it. This leaked. Let's enjoy it. Let's make banter out of it. But if there's something someone can suggest that will somehow level the playing field a little bit, which I highly doubt it, but I heard that the police aren't even going to investigate it. With that being said, just read the sign. A police officer, I'm not going to mention the name, but I've got a friend that's a police officer, got caught, this is not a lie, got caught doing 87 in a 40, yeah? He got pulled over by traffic police and basically FaceTime me while this has happened, and they were just busting joke. He was a police officer, they were a police officer, they were busting joke. Now, point being is, he's in that party. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And we're not. So that's just what it is. And I don't feel offense to it because I don't want to be part of that party anyway. It is what it is. I just want to do what I'm doing, and I recommend everyone just do what they're doing, and we just all try to work together and try and get through this.
Don't hate from outside the club when you can't even get in.
Yeah, innit? Yeah.
I know you want to get on this.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Okay, so why the fuck has it taken this for people to be outraged at the government?
Oh, I love
like,
that.
when you look at the past 2 years, look at all the shit that's gone on that the government have done.
Track and trace.
And it's taken a fucking Christmas party for everyone to get outraged.
Spitting right now.
I think I saw a meme about that.
Can't fuck with their Christmas.
So many
I saw the meme.
terrible things that the government has done, and now everyone's mad at a Christmas party.
I need some Charlie Sloth horns right now, bro.
bro.
She's spitting
He's
right
on
now.
fire! She's on fire!
Do you know what I mean?
100. I've been saying it to this guy for ages.
This is crazy. I read things today, and it's like after all the way the government has behaved, like you had the BLM stuff, like everything that has gone on over the past 2 years, and it takes a fucking Christmas party for everyone to.
But you know what that shows? Do you know what that shows?
What?
It shows
The
that
audacity of the fucking public.
no. It shows that we're selfish.
Well,
Who's
I'm
selfish?
embarrassed.
Who's selfish?
I'm embarrassed.
No, we're all
selfish?
selfish.
I'm embarrassed.
We are.
Look, it shows that we're selfish because all these crazy things that you just listed have happened, right? And everyone's been outraged, but like it's been outraged, but then it's kind of like it dies.
That's it.
Can I just ask a question?
No one has been outraged enough to cancel the government
Exactly.
until they had a Christmas
Can-
party.
can I
It was
just-
a party.
Can I just ask a
It was a
question,
party
though?
that we weren't invited to, and everyone's in their
Do you know
feelings
what
like
I mean?
we couldn't go.
As if you weren't in a party. You
Yeah.
What's my Facebook?
Worse than that,
Do you know
it's
what
the
I
fact
mean?
that we couldn't
is what it
party,
is.
but they
Yeah.
were partying.
It's not even that. It's the fact that
that's
people
why we're
couldn't
annoyed.
go to their parents' funerals. It's the
Yeah.
fact that people
Yeah.
could not see their parents.
Can we talk about?
dying.
That's the part. That's the
Could not
part.
go
That.
to
That's the part.
hospital.
That's the sad
You
part.
know,
That's the
like,
genuinely
that
sad
is-
part. That's the
the sad
sad
part.
part. That's actually.
heartbreaking.
That's the part where where you got me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, now I'm pissed off. Like that's
But why
sad,
are you taking
man.
this for the
That's
public to outrage? Like, there's so many other things
so
for the
sad,
public
man.
to
So
outrage
sad.
Fuck with people's
So
Christmases.
sad.
Taking
That's
a
it.
fucking Christmas
That's so
party,
sad.
are you
But it hit.
joking?
No, but that's the thing. It
That's
hits
so
home,
sad.
doesn't it, for people?
But does it? Everything else should have hit home.
No, but
Christmas,
there's elements
it's the
of
people being
selfishness,
obedient,
and there's
innit?
elements of like.
But what
I
I'm
missed
saying
out on my
is
grand's
that it's
funeral.
really
Do you not-
sad.
yeah,
It's
that's
really
sad,
that
man.
it's
That's-
taken the public
that's
for a
painful to
Christmas
even
party
hear,
hit
like.
home. Everything else that happened the last 2 years should have hit home for everyone.
Yeah, but some people don't
You know?
believe.
I get that.
Like
I get
for
that.
us, none of us. Like for me now, yeah, my grandpa passed away during this period.
Oh
right?
man, so sorry
We
to
didn't
hear
get
that,
to
bro.
hospital to go see him or nothing
That's
like that,
really
right?
sad,
I'm not even angry about it because I've been aware and I've been telling this guy for
Well, good for
ages
you know?
about the government's doing this, government's doing that, and I'm just jaded because
even that,
you're just
like-
like I know that they're doing wrong,
Yeah.
and I know it's
Yeah.
wrong, and
Yeah.
I'm so annoyed about it. But you get to a point where you're just
But
like,
you're
"Ah,
an exception.
Yeah.
You're an
Yeah.
exceptional human
Yeah.
being because so many people are not going to feel
Nah,
that.
man, that's
So
that.
many
It's
people
painful.
are
It's
gonna
sad.
feel
It's
like,
sad.
How fucking dare you? Like, I have not been
But the
able to
question,
see
let me ask you a
those
question.
to my
Did you
grandma.
not? Did you not believe? But did you not believe this was going on anyway?
Exactly.
Do you think like what was that? Please, what,
I'm gonna get to that point.
That's it.
do you know what I mean?
my point.
What was that? What was that? What was that?
That's what I'm
Did
saying.
Prime Minister, someone in Wales or some woman? She was on a private jet or something like flying up and down the country. She went to a holiday home and all the rest of it.
But this is the
Come
thing.
on,
This is the thing.
man,
Right?
like,
This is my thing. This is my thing, right? When it comes to politics, right? If I was a politician, Lord knows I would do some fucked up shit. Lord knows.
But why?
Listen, no. Also, because
I feel like
It's a
WWE
piece of
will be in the Olympics.
trust me, I'll do some
Or
fucked up
F.
shit. Trust me, I'll be there with the wig and everything. I'll do some fucked up shit, right? I would do because I'm in the position to do so. I'm in a position of power.
Power, isn't it?
I'm just being on that.
That's
But
really fucked up.
no, listen.
Sorry, but
Yeah, hold on.
No, but
You have
let me just land.
You have to let me land this. You have to let me. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. As in, if I was a politician, I would make money using my power to make money in certain ways. Don't get twisted. If I was a politician, I would do a lot of good stuff for people